Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. If you missed my video on Sunday, go check it out. It is part 4 of my professional color analysis series, and I have revealed to you all of the 7 looks that I will be recreating. I shared some fabric, but there will be a future fabric haul for the rest of the looks that I'll share. And yeah, make sure that you go back and catch that video, and don't forget, coming up on this Sunday will be the final part 5 of the professional color analysis series, where I show you how to create your sewing mood board in Canva. And so yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. If this is your first time seeing my face, hearing my voice, I upload on Sundays and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and also the first of every month. So July 1st, you will have a sewing buzz, as well as a new person that I'll be interviewing on the S&D sewing chat. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and don't forget to thumbs up this video on your way out. So today is another quick review, pattern review for this is DuanaDIY, her first pattern that she released. It was back in April, and so this is the Ada Peplum. And so yes, this is a good one. This is a good one. I do have some tips when you're going through the pattern and everything, but this is from the May Sew Your View challenge. So in May, if you follow Sew Your View on Instagram, you know every month they do a sewing challenge for a different pattern. Most of them have been indie, but they do commercial as well. So make sure if you're looking for fun sewing challenges like that, go follow Sew Your View over on Instagram. And so like I said, this was the May pattern that was selected, and I am just going to go ahead and jump into this. I made this early May, maybe mid-May, and so I'm just now getting around to being able to do a review. I will tell you about the fabric, which I absolutely love. It's such a beautiful color. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Very nice, very nice. And I'll tell you the adjustments and whatnot that I made to the pattern. So let's jump right into the fabric. This fabric is a beautiful, it's called Bubble Gauze from Joann Fabrics. If I can find it on their website, I will link it down in the description box, because I threw away the receipt. So I don't remember the number, but I'll try to look it up. I know it's a bubble gauze, and so I'll look it up. Again, check the description box if I can find it. And so this here, the pattern, actually, let me tell you a little bit about the sizing on this. It is a good size range. You all know I love when we got some size inclusive patterns on here to promote. And so this one goes from a size 2 to a pattern size 28. And so what that means is starts at a bust 33.5 and goes up to a bust 54.5. And so for me, at the time that I made this, I was closer to a 46 full bust. And so I didn't know quite what the finished garment measurements were. I should have measured the pattern pieces. Actually, there were a comedy of errors, let me just tell you up front, when I was making this this dress. But anyway, and so I decided, because size 22, it said a bust is a 48.5. I was thinking, oh, if I'm 46, that should be good. Again, comedy of errors. I should have measured the pattern pieces to know what the ease was, to figure out the ease, because the finished garment measurements, these were all the your actual body measurements, and so these are not your finished garment measurements, and there weren't finished garment measurements in the pattern. And I'm just thumbing through just to make sure I didn't overlook that. But yeah, there weren't finished garment measurements in the pattern. And so so yeah, I decided to go with the size 22. And so you all know I typically send my patterns to print. I do not like printing and sticking patterns together. And so this was no exception. I sent it off to PDF plotting, and once I got it back and decided, oh, it's time to go ahead and work on this, what I did not. I failed to realize, and I don't know that I've seen this on patterns before, but the way that her pattern is, and there was another pattern piece I wanted to show you. Let me grab that. I wanted to grab the pattern piece so you understand what I'm saying. So I told you I wanted to do a size 22, and so sent it off the print, got it back. What I failed to realize going through the files, I haven't seen this on, I don't think I've seen this on other patterns before, but I'm gonna be paying attention now. The pattern, the way the numbers are stacked, it goes from a 16, 20, and 24, and the 22 is on a totally different pattern piece, and I would have had to actually get it in the different size range. So instead of this just being 16, 18, 20 like you will see on most patterns, it skips 4 sizes in between. And I was like, oh no, that's not gonna work. And I was thinking, ooh, again, not thinking to measure the pattern pieces. I said, okay, I'm not gonna do a 20 because it might be too tight. So it's easier to make it bigger, and then if I have to shave off some, I'll shave off some, you know, during the sewing, the construction process. So I decided to go to with the size 24 on the pieces. I also measured the skirt, and the skirt would be too short for me. I'm 5'7", and so I like my skirts to hit me at a certain point, and so I added 3 inches to the skirt front and 4 inches to the skirt back. If you measure at least for this size range, I noticed the skirt back piece was an inch shorter than the front, so that would have had the back higher than the front in the finished garment, and so I just added an extra inch to the back so there wouldn't be that, you know, it hiked up in the back, if you know what I mean. And so yeah, that's what I did. And then what other adjustments did I make? That was it. Those were the only adjustments I made. Again, theme here, not measuring the pattern pieces, but this fabric is so beautiful and it is so soft. What I absolutely love about this pattern is the sleeve. If you can tell, I'm gonna see if it'll focus on the sleeve as opposed to me. You have this placket sleeve. You can make the buttons functional or non-functional. Mine aren't functional at all, and so I put just clear buttons on because once I realized, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute, once I realized this wasn't going to fit, I decided to use some plain buttons. And so, or this would be too big, but I absolutely love that sleeve detail. And that's one of the things she mentioned if you go on her website, is that she loves statement sleeves. And so she really did an awesome job with these sleeves. I absolutely love the way that looks, and I can definitely see using that look on other patterns. Initially, I was planning to use these buttons. So I'll hold this up. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I wanted to use these buttons, but because I knew as I was putting this together, this was going to be way too big. And I was thinking, and I was unpicking, when I had made a couple errors somewhere, and I was unpicking, it does have bust darts too, in the front. And yeah, oh, I added 2 inches to the, no, an inch to the waist, to the bodice. Did not need to do that. And so I'll pop up pictures here in a moment, but and then I halfway through, well, no, I was almost finished cutting it out and realized I didn't have enough fabric, so I had to go back to Joann's, and that's where I got this from, to get some more fabric, and had to piece pieces of the fabric. If you can kind of tell, you might be able to tell more in the pictures, but of course, because it's stripes, I laid the skirt on the vertical and the top on the horizontal on the grain, and then laid the skirt piece on the cross grain is what I did. And so because I wanted this look, I didn't want stripes all the way up and down, but still having to match some of the back skirt pieces because I ran out of fabric. It's okay. It's not bad at all. So far as hemming, I just serged the bottom and turned it up to finish the hem, both on the sleeve hem as well as the skirt hem. It does have facing pieces. You all know what I do with facing pieces. Is I make sure that it's clean here. I attach the interfacing, those sides, right sides together, and then fuse, so you have that clean bottom. And then I use heat bond to stabilize so it doesn't flop or move or anything, because I find with facings, just anchoring them in the shoulder seams just doesn't do the trick, at least for me. And I don't want to top stitch. At least I didn't want to top stitch this. Maybe for some, depending on what you make, you can top stitch it all the way down. But for me, I just love using the heat bond. And like I said, when I wash it, it doesn't move. At least I haven't experienced that yet. We do have the zipper in the back. I wanted the more, because these are pastel soft colors, I wanted a pastel zipper in the back. So I chose this lavender, as you can tell, zipper to go in the back. And yeah, I like the way that looks. I did add, for some fun, you all know that I have these labels on the website, Black History Month pattern designer. So I just put that in there, since this is a black pattern designer. And so yeah, I love the dress. Couple things: pay attention to the sizing and how the sizing is stacked on the pattern, because I did not catch that. And so actually, I probably could have just went with the size 20 period had I measured the pattern pieces, and then I wouldn't have had the problem. How I goofed up on the length for the bodice, I'm not sure, but it happens. This will be donated. This dress will be donated, because it just doesn't fit. The pictures that you will see me popping up was me holding the dress in certain areas so it would not fall off. I'm actually going to try to put it on so you can see how it looks on me. But I would say the construction is very easy, since you just have the facing pieces and whatnot. And I absolutely love the sleeves. I can definitely see me using this sleeve pattern for sure in other patterns. But I think when I make this again, I'm gonna make the top, make the peplum top, as opposed to the dress. So yeah, I think that's what I would do the next time I would make it. And I will also probably raise the back, because this back scoop is very pretty, but I think it's just way too low, and it's probably due to this is just way too big for me anyway, so it was drooping down a whole heck of a lot more. I am actually going to try this on over what I'm wearing, because that's how big this is. So hold on. Okay, so here's the dress. I was able to slip it over my head without unzipping it. Yes, this is how big it is. Way too big. And actually, if I didn't have this shirt, this dip actually comes just a little bit lower, but because I have this t-shirt on, it's kind of bunched up there, but it is so big. And then let me see if I can show you. See, my waist is here. Why? I added more than that, 2 inches down here. Did not need that. This is supposed to be sitting up here, and I have on my shorts and everything up underneath here. This thing is so big. It is so super big. And so yeah, that was just me not measuring, paying attention to the sizing on the pattern, and then over adjusting, which happens. So yeah, and that happens sometimes. You over adjust, you overcompensate, and you think, oh no, I need to do X, Y, and Z, when really you don't. You can overthink a project, and this is just one of those projects I just overthought. and then having to run back to the store for more fabric, stuff like, you know how when you start having to do all these different things, then it just kind of, it might throw the whole project off. And I think that's just what happened here. Definitely a pretty dress, but it will be donated because it's way too big. So do I recommend the pattern? I actually really do recommend the pattern because I think it is very beginner friendly. And I know there are a lot of beginner sewers that watch my channel, and I would suggest doing this. The buttons, again, does not have to be a functional button placket down the side, and so which mine are not. And so yeah, that is, you know, you don't have to worry about that opening and closing the sides if you don't want to. The zipper is very easy to put in. I thought the instructions for it were easy to follow, and so this could be your first time playing around putting in a zipper for sure. And yeah, with facing pieces. And so I think it is a relatively easy project to put together, but do pay attention to the sizing. Since it doesn't have the finished garment measurements in the pattern, I would measure the pattern pieces so you know how much ease is built into it, and pay attention to when you do print off your sizing, that you're printing off the right. If you send it to the copy shop and you do what I did, because I was trying to get the sizes I thought would be in that category, and it wasn't. And so make sure that you pay attention to that. But outside of that, that is it. That is it. I have nothing else for you today. Make sure, again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, and stay tuned for Sunday's video, which is the final part of the professional color analysis series. And then next Wednesday I will have the pattern that I was testing that has probably should have released by the time I record that video for you next week. So all right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye.